Coming up at 11, one man is dead and one woman is behind bars after a hit and run in Powell County.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening. I'm Caroline Mueller. One man is dead and one woman is in custody after a hit and run crash in Powell County. Kentucky State Police say Allison Martin hit and killed Ross Hicks on Main Street in Clay City. Martin is facing several charges, including fleeing the scene of an accident and vehicular homicide when under the influence of alcohol. Alyssa Williams talked with those who knew Hicks to learn about who he was as a person.
He was a clown. He liked to make everybody smile. He liked to make everybody forget what they were going through, and he just knew what to say at the right time.
Snapshots in time are all Christina Hicks says she and her children have of her ex-husband, Ross Hicks.
My children are left here without a dad. My children are here suffering, looking at pictures. My kids here are crying because they lost their best friend.
Police say Hicks was killed Tuesday night during a hit and run on Main Street in Clay City. They also say the woman who hit him, Allison Martin, was under the influence during the time. Martin's arrest citation also says she admitted to stopping at a gas station after she hit Hicks and found his backpack stuck to the front of her car. She says she took it off, left it there, and continued to drive home.
It's not fair to him. It's not fair.
Shortly before Hicks was killed, Christina says he stopped at her house to see their sons and cut their hair, and then he walked into town. She says he was a barber who would go to people's homes to cut their hair. He had just cut Anthony Tipton and his son's hair Monday.
Friends to everybody, you know, he's just an all-around great guy. Just 2 days later and he's gone, you know. It really blows my mind. I got to tell my kids later, and I don't know how they're going to take it. They loved him.
Christina Hicks says she plans to be a voice for her and Ross's children to ensure that their dad gets the justice he deserves.
They're going to get their justice. I will be there every day, and I won't stop.
Hicks says she would also like an apology from Martin to her and Ross's children. In Powell County, Alyssa Williams, WKYT.
Martin is being held at the Montgomery County Regional Jail. New details tonight in a deadly crash out of Perry County. We now know the names of the 2 men who died in the crash. The Perry County coroner confirmed with WYMT that 79-year-old Jay Garland Combs of Perry County and 20-year-old Zachary Hall of Knott County were pronounced dead at the scene. Sheriff's deputies say the crash happened around 8 this morning on Kentucky 15 North in the Grapevine community. 2 other people were taken to the hospital, but their condition is not known. The Perry County Sheriff's Office is investigating. Well, it's been a nice sunny day here in Eastern Kentucky, but we are in a first alert weather day, so it's quiet right now, but that's changing. So let's go ahead and check in with WYMT First Alert meteorologist Eric Dean for a first look at that forecast. Eric.
That's right, Caroline. We do have a first alert weather day for your Thursday and Friday, as severe weather chances will start to pick up, multiple rounds to be exact. My main concern is going to be Friday night, and I'll explain why coming up in the next check weather. That's Friday night going into Saturday morning. Main threats at that time will be heavy wind, hail, some vivid lightning, and a very, very low, it's not a 0 like the last time, but very low chance of a spin up or 2. Now, as we go throughout the next several hours, make sure you have the WYMT First Alert Weather app on your mobile devices to receive the latest information for your area. And right now, look at live pinpoint Doppler radar. All is quiet throughout Eastern Kentucky, but again, this is going to get a little workout starting tomorrow night in some places. If you don't see it tomorrow, your next chance will be Friday. Right now, temperatures in the 60s. Look at Jackson at 11 o'clock, 69 degrees, 63 in Hazard, 67 Harlan. Manchester's at 66. Manchester's going to get pretty darn close to 90 tomorrow, 69 in London, 68 in Williamsburg. So, severe weather outlook for tomorrow, marginal risk for severe weather, or level 1 out of 5 for the majority of the viewing area. On Friday, there's a slight risk for severe weather, or a level 2 out of 5. And we'll talk about that coming up in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Caroline.
All right, Eric, thanks. Law enforcement from Somerset and Pulaski County gathered to honor 6 officers killed in the line of duty. The ceremony took place Wednesday morning at Somerset Cemetery, where 3 fallen officers from the Somerset Police Department and 3 from the Sheriff's Office are buried. The memorial is part of National Police Week. For some, the memories remain painfully fresh.
You always learn things about people that they interacted with and people they helped that you didn't know existed.
A separate service is scheduled in Burnside this Saturday at Cole Park to honor officers from that community. A joint drug investigation led to a drug bust in Knox County. Corbin police, with help from state and federal agencies, executed a search warrant on South Kentucky 1629, seizing more than 12 ounces of meth, marijuana, cash, and drug paraphernalia. 2 children were also found living in deplorable conditions inside the home. George and Ashley Jesse now face trafficking and child abuse charges. The DEA is reviewing the case for possible federal prosecution. A Laurel County man is in jail after police say he led them on a chase and threw bags of crystal meth out of a vehicle. The incident happened yesterday when police tried to perform a traffic stop. That is when Cody Deaton failed to stop and drove through business parking lots at speeds in excess of 70 miles per hour. Police later surrounded Deaton, where he briefly resisted arrest before he was taken into custody. A Madison County judge ruled today there is enough evidence in the case against 6 of 9 defendants in a daycare child abuse investigation to send it on to a grand jury. Detective Tyler Short with the Richmond Police Department testified about his findings in an ongoing child abuse investigation at 2 Richmond daycares earlier today. He detailed multiple cases against 6 defendants who were either owners or employees of A Step Ahead and Kids Club Childcare.
We don't know what the long-term psychological effects could be on these small children at such a young age. If they had done their job and made the report after that very first incident, I think it's very unlikely that any of the other acts of criminal abuse would have happened.
We have more details about each of the defendants in this case on WYMT.com. As of earlier today, only 1 of the 6 suspects is still behind bars. After nearly 10 days of no water, most of Harlan County residents now have running water again. Last Tuesday, May 6th, water was restored to most of the Black Mountain Utility District's customers. Judge Executive Dan Mosley says it could have been longer.
It truly was a crisis, and we never want to see an outage, period, but we certainly don't want to see a prolonged one like that. And had it not been for our neighbors coming to assist, it certainly would have been much longer than it was. So I'm just very grateful to the folks that came to help us during a very difficult time. And at some point, if we're able, we'll certainly return that favor as well.
Harlan County was assisted by outside help from places such as Kentucky Rural Water Association, the City of Pineville, the Hayden-Leslie Water District, and more, as well as inside county assistance from the cities of Harlan and Everts and the Kaywood Water District. More federal assistance is coming to Kentuckians who survived devastating flooding last month. Governor Andy Beshear says FEMA approved individual assistance for 24 more counties. Those include Garrard, Lincoln, and Powell counties. They join other communities including Anderson, Clark, Franklin, Jessamine, Mercer, and Woodford counties, which were all approved April 25th. To apply, you can go online to disasterassistance.gov or use the FEMA app. A wholesaler in Laurel County that suddenly closed last month is now facing a class action lawsuit. The lawsuit against Laurel Grocery Company was filed earlier this month. In it, a former employee says not enough notice was given to employees before the business closed and employees were laid off. The lawsuit is seeking back pay and civil penalties to the fullest extent allowable under the WARN Act. Operation Unite brought its AmeriCorps partners to Pikeville today for a celebration. The event brought members who are working in schools throughout the region to the table, sharing how they feel they have impacted students this year. Members discussed the Too Good for Drugs program and how they have connected with kids about substance abuse and advocacy, saying it has been an important piece of the puzzle in showing students the futures that are possible for them.
Well, to me, this is the most important harm reduction is prevention, in that you're raising kids that understand the devastating effects of substance abuse in their lives. So until we really make that our focus, prevention our focus, we're going to be creating new addies.
Those involved say the partnership allows them to meet with students where they are and plant early seeds of prevention, but it also allows the students to leave their marks on the members. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, tuition at one Kentucky college could go up if students choose to take a heavier course load.
And all eyes are on the next couple of days as First Alert weather days are in the forecast. Details coming up.